All right. So, I have decided we are going to do White March 2. It makes sense from a narrative standpoint. We came home, we had a nap, we got some visions as some things were going down in White March. So, we're going to book a trip back that way. Find out what's going on. I don't know. What level am I? Level 12. I should be good enough for that. Level 12 is pretty high level, I think. But here's my dilemma, which I will get to here in a second as soon as I remember what thing to click. Okay, here's my dilemma. I want to take Manaha and I want to take Zahua. I have no idea how Zahua works. I was going to at some point stop and look and try to figure out how a monk works in this game. I didn't. I have no idea how monks work. I've never used one. It's my first time actually playing through the game. First time I played it, I played a fighter. When I didn't finish it, when I was just messing around with it. So I have no idea how they work. Manaha's barbarian, which is kind of redundant given that I'm a barbarian, but that's okay because we can work with that. I want to probably leave Devil of Karak because she's a White March character. She's going to have a lot to say. And besides, I need somebody that has mechanics. She's in my floater spot right now. If I take her out and say I replace her with Zahua, my next weakest link in my party is Sagani, who also would be my mechanics person. I take her out, I have nobody that can disarm traps or anything like that. So, since I have to leave one of these two, I've decided I'm leaving Devil of Karak, which might hurt me because I'm so used to using Sagani, but Sagani is coming out for now. I also lose Itamog doing this. Put Zahua in. Now, who in the heck do I take out to put Manaha in? Can't take Liquid out. Adir is pretty much the key to everything. I need him to tank. So Duras or Aloth. What I'm thinking about doing is taking Duras out, which is going to hurt. His buffs are very, very useful. I'm not worried about healing, but his buffs coming out is gonna hurt a lot. Aloth is my crowd control guy. I take him out. I pretty much have a bunch of solo fighters. So what I think I'm gonna try to do is take Duras out for now.
You walk your path, I'll walk mine.
You do that. I'm gonna put Manaha in. If it gets bad, I'm gonna take Aloth out and put Duras back in. Probably should get used to not seeing too much Aloth pretty soon anyway, because after White March is over, definitely he's coming out for Grieving Mother, because I need to get her quest done, and she's going to be a good replacement for him. She could fill that role in pretty well from what I understand. But for now, this is going to be my White March 2 party. In place of Grey Silence. Oh, okay, he got that chime. That's actually good timing. But
Hey.
I need to make a trip over here to get everything out of this chest that I haven't emptied since, like, episode 5 or something like that. Oh, yeah, there's a lot in here. Look at all this. Now, just start taking it out, and then we'll figure out what all this stuff is. Oh, my God, there's a lot in here. All these pieces I have, are they from quests or are they stuff that's like getting donated to me or something? Yeah, we're gonna have to do a little bit of inventory management before we go anywhere here. Oh my God, this is so full of stuff. Look at all this stuff. And money. Alright. Let's see what we got. Pardon. why those aren't stacked. Here, take that potion of fleet feet. You can have that. Get that stacked out of the way. Potion of major endurance. I think I've got a stack of those on a deer. I'll give you that instead of the miner. I'll give the miner to Sahwa for now. And I'll figure this stuff out in a minute, because these items I have laying around might actually go well on some of these new characters we have. We'll get him a full stack of that. What is this? Major regeneration. Major endurance, sparring death door. We'll go with this for the moment. Put that off to the side. Minor arcane reflection. Put that in your thing right there. Actually, you know what? Just hold on. Actually, let Sahwa hold it. He could be my potion healer for now. I'll go with Iron Skin for him. Stack of Wizard's Double. Plus 40 deflection until hit or critically hit. Give that to Sahwa for the hell of it. Flame Shield. And Manha, you can hold on to that. Still want Aloth to use a whole bunch of his scrolls, so we're going to be doing that with him. Blind Monk's Venom. Once per encounter, target takes a whole bunch of damage to successful blinded poison. Applied to a weapon, inflicts raw damage over time and temporarily leaves the victim blinded in a second. I'm going to let Sahwa hold on to that. He can coat his fists in it. Inward looking inward chime. Turns the user invisible. That'd probably be good for Aloth. What are these scrolls? These restore minor endurance. That's not really going to help me at this point that much. Mossy Rock summons a swamp lurker. I'll let Manha hold on to that. That's not really going to help me out that much, I don't think. It's a summon, but it's a summon that'll probably die quick. It's a curious device created by a deranged dwarf nanomancer who has the ability to cast a druid spell, Garden of Life. Friendly AoE. That's basically something that heals friendly AoE. Okay. I guess hold on to that for now. It's Twin Stones. Durance actually has a stack of those. I'm just going to put those in storage for now. Silver Lover's Ring. Grants swap endurance. Okay. These can go in stash. I remember what they do. They didn't seem that useful. Avera's Diving Helmet. Plus 20 defense against poison attacks. Plus 35 defense against Dragon Breath attacks. Minus 1 perception. Hold on to that. Constellated Cloak. Grants Dimensional Shift. Actually, wait a minute. Didn't I have something here for a deer? This. Plus 5 deflection. Plus 5 all defenses. Plus 30 max endurance. Plus 3 damage reduction. That is all you, Adir. Keep on tanking. What do you guys have equipped? Plus 2 intellect. Plus 1 resolve. That's good for her. And, okay. Put that in stash. Constellated Cloak plus 12 reflex. What's the dimensional shift? Once per rest. Foe beam. Stunned. I'm going to put that away for now. Father's Teeth. Grants Rot Skulls plus 18 fortitude. I don't think that's as good as anything else we already have equipped. Pilgrim's Lasting Vigil. Plus 1 resolve, plus 1 perception. Let's give that to Manha for a moment. You might as well take this ring because you don't have anything else equipped. I'm not going to do anything with it probably. You can have the Ring of Unshackling. Go ahead and take that into your inventory. Plus 15 attack speed. Give that to Zahua. And what's this? Potion of Major Recovery. Minus 6 duration of active hostile effects for 30 seconds. Give it to Zahua since he has a space, because I don't know what else to do with it right now. Alright. Yep.
Hey.
General Goods Merchant. Who are you?
Greetings.
Greetings, my lord. Fancy a new blade, maybe an axe. I've plenty here to take the fancy of any man of action, or perhaps some ingredients and spices for the road. I've oils and tinctures for the ailing man, too. Want to have a look? Show me your wares. You have anything cool in here? Not really. Potions and a bunch of generic stuff. I'll take a pry bar for the hell of it and put it in my stash. Since I have so much money, I don't know what to do with it. Alright. I swear to God we'll deal with Gathman at some point, buddy, but not yet. So yeah, I have, like, no idea how Zahua works. We're going to be winging that one. Figure it out as we go. Hopefully they throw some easy fights at me in the beginning of this. And I don't particularly know how Manaha's set up. I'll have to just try her out when I get there. I could look her up. Actually, she needs to level up from the looks of it. When I respect everybody, or some of the characters the other day, I didn't actually do anything with her. Decided to just leave her as is. Okay, what do we got? Frenzy. I know what that does. Blooded. Brute Force. Threatening Presence. Nearby enemies may be sickened. She's gonna be up front. What does Sicken do exactly? Fortitude and Will. You know what? I'm gonna give her some of the stuff I did not give to Liquid, so let's go ahead and do that. And you have 2-weapon style? No, you don't. Let's fix that. Zahua, you apparently have a level. I thought you were leveled up. Did not see your plus sign. I have no idea how this works with you. Lesser wounds. Lowers the monk's wound threshold, allowing him or her to gain wounds at a faster rate. Is that good? Mortification of the soul. Immediately inflicts enough raw damage on himself or herself to gain a wound. Okay. This my thing is I don't know how that works with wounds. I don't think there's a tooltip in here for monks that tells you how they work. I would have to actually stop and look at it somewhere. I can't be bothered. Oh, there's a personal record so you can see how many enemies each character has killed. That's actually kind of useful. A deer has not done that much damage, but look at Liquid's total damage. And a deer joined not long after we started the game. A day later, just about. So Liquid is killing a lot of guys. Crits 688. Devil Karak already has 103 for being in a party as long as she has. Alos been knocked out 18 times. Probably didn't help that he was using the same armor that he had when I first got him for the longest time. Alright. Let's see. So we're going to Whitestone Hollow. That must be the new place. A new place in this DLC. Your party is considered high level for the content in White March Part 2. Okay, that's good. That means I'm not lower level. If you would like, the critical path can be increased in difficulty to give you more of a challenge. Rewards you receive will be the same regardless of the option you choose. Your choice cannot be changed. Let's go standard. I'm already hurting myself by using a completely unfamiliar party to me. I'm back.
While we wait, the enemy grows stronger.
And you'd send more of us to die.
Well, I'm not gonna stand around. Are you?
You've done plenty, Darian.
Darian. Do I know Darian? You approach the source of the commotion and see a throng of villagers. They're arguing amongst themselves and hurling questions and demands at a lone figure perched above them. A young man stands on a spur of rock, his clenched fist held aloft. Steam rises from his wild hair and flushed face as he shouts to the gathering.
Been a week since our people left these gates. A week since the Iron Flail took them.
He paces the outcropping, his eyes burning. You see a few scattered nods in the crowd.
Yet we wait here behind our sturdy new walls, hiding in our rebuilt homes. We've done nothing.
He brings his fist into his palm with a sharp smack. The crowd erupts, bristling with pointed fingers and pointed words. One woman steps forward, her eyes lock on the young man. Actually, it probably would have made sense if I had done Endless Paths before this, because apparently they've rebuilt homes here.
Who are you to tell us how to defend our own? You ain't been here 2 months!
2 months have passed? Jesus. Several of the others grunt and hoot. You feel a shift in the crowd like a changing tide.
Hey, an angry mob. See? We're not so far from home.
Ah.
And since I got here, I've been working alongside the rest of you. Don't start with that again.
A handful of others nod along with him, but they cringe and flinch as another villager joins the fray, shaking his finger at the young order.
Well, it was your idea to send our people to that damned fort in the first place. If it weren't for you and the other leeches that come up with you, we wouldn't be in this mess.
The new accuser raises a chorus of furious cries. Darian raises his hands for calm, but the crowd's wrath is snowballing. Continue listening.
Enough. Enough!
Darian waves for calm, but the crowd has worked itself into a frenzy. He scans the assembly, beads of sweat rolling from his temples. His eyes fall on you, and he points. Don't drag me into this mess.
You want to boot all the Outlanders from your town? Tell that to the hero of the White Forge.
Listen, I'm just here for the money and to get these dead people out of my head.
Hey, it wasn't just me. This Watcher deserves at least a little credit.
No one seems to notice the deer's sad face. A dozen heads turn in your direction. The villagers recognize you and their eyes widen with hope and reverence. What's this about?
A bunch of greedy foreigners who want what's ours.
Another cry goes up, but it's quieter and more uncertain. Darian quickly jumps in. Oh boy.
It's a small army from Rayed Saris. They call themselves the Iron Flail.
At Darian's mention of the name, the rest of the crowd falls silent. The words trigger a sudden flashback to your dream of the mysterious army and the destruction of Caed Nua. As the image fades, you see once more the vision of 100 eyes watching you and something just beyond.
Showed up a few weeks after you opened the battery. Demanded we give him the White Forge.
He avoids your gaze, scraping his boot against the rock. Listen, I liberated the White Forge myself.
They're led
That's
by
my
Adarik
White Forge.
Sendamir. Comes from an old Rayed Saren family. The rumor has it the man's half mad with visions. Claims one drove him here to take the White Forge.
In Zawa's experience, if one is only half mad with visions, the dose was too low.
They're not the only bloodsuckers around here.
Villager glares up at Darien, but most of his fellows are ignoring him by now. Darien raises his voice above the ruckus.
Our crew at the battery locked their doors and told the Iron Flail to go back to Rayed Saris. Instead, they built a fort in the middle of the wood. So we sent a committee to reason with them. But that was a week ago. We haven't seen our people since.
They're probably dead then. A low rumble ripples through the crowd. Darien hesitates.
That can only mean one thing.
That they're dead, yes. He grimaces at the frightened, arguing crowd, drowns him out once more. As frightened, arguing crowd drowns him out once more. I give up on that sentence. That's right, you gotta defend what's yours.
We're just miners and fisher folk.
Fisher folk. Panic surges from the crowd.
Send Darien and the rest of the newcomers. Let them earn their keep.
We've cleared your roads and repaired this town. What more do we have to prove?
Cries of agreement and protest boil up from the crowd.
Maybe we could nudge them into torching their own village.
Ah!
Please, everyone!
In the fragile silence that follows, the others turn and look at Darien.
Whatever our difference is, we've got to deal with the army at our gates.
He looks back to you.
You've done a lot for Stalwart already. Many of us wouldn't even be here if it wasn't for you.
He breaks off, looking as if he'd like to stuff his words back into his mouth. After an uneasy pause, he swallows and continues.
What I mean is, if anyone could deal with an army, it's you.
Very well, I'll help you. I've got my own business with this army. I actually could answer both of those.
The Iron Flail cleared a patch of forest north of Durgan's battery, built their fort there. It'll be well guarded, so if you can get in without raising an alarm, you may have an easier time of it.
I'm really bad at not raising alarms.
The important thing is to deal with the commander. If you can get rid of him, the rest of the soldiers will scatter.
I think I've dreamed about this army.
What exactly did you see?
He watches you with wide, wondering eyes. A murmur ripples through the crowd. I better not tell him Stalwart was destroyed. The dream was unclear.
Of course. We're just thankful this dream led you back. Anyway, we've got our work cut out for us here.
He gives the crowd a purposeful look. Grumbling, they start to disperse.
While you're out, stop by the battery. Wangra and her team are still repairing the heavy cannons, but they've made a lot of progress elsewhere. Thought you might like to see how far it's come.
He shrugs. I wanted to ask you about something.
Haven't been here long, but I'll tell you what I can.
Tell me about the Iron Flail, even though you already just did.
They heard about the White Forge and came running. Just like a lot of us did. Only difference is, they brought siege weapons. As best anyone can tell, they're from the border region near Little Bend, one of the poorest parts of the country. For Rayed Saris, well, that's saying something.
What brought you to Stalwart? It's awfully convenient that you're here while all this is going on.
Work. I was a cobbler in New Yarma, but the city got more crowded every year. Rural types fleeing the legacy.
Uh-huh.
A couple months ago, I heard Stalwart was offering land and opportunity to new settlers, so figured I'd give it a go out here.
You're an assassin, just a minute.
For a while, folks seemed glad to have some new blood. But that changed as more and more of us came.
Probably all working with you, probably another army. There seems to be a lot of tension around town.
Before you opened Durgan's battery, people tell me Stalwart barely had enough warm bodies to keep the town running.
No, there were a lot of cold batteries in the battery that might be able to help you out. Get a necromancer, resurrect him or something.
A bunch of us came when we heard about the White Forge. But now, I think the old-timers would just as soon send us back.
He begins ticking items off on his fingers.
We take the best jobs, we don't pay our respects to Andra, we're overcrowding the town.
He shakes his head.
I get it. Stalwart's changing. Same thing happened in New Yarma when folk moved in from the countryside. But they can't keep blaming us for everything that goes wrong out here.
He sighs and a steaming cloud escapes his lips.
I'm just hoping they'll calm down once the Iron Flail is gone.
That's all. Alright, so I guess we better check out this whole town again. So there might be some new stuff going on here. Well, let's see. Is it true? I saw the lights from the battery. Did you really open it? The Orlan claps his hands and wonder, where have you been? Did you just, like, come back here? I can't believe it. I was sure I'd never make this route again, but who knows what rarities will come from those halls. Such an exciting time. What do you have for sale? Do you have anything that's, like, useful here? Since I have so much damn money. Raiment of Will's eyes, light armor. That's way too low. Damage resistance for my liking. Ultimate Hat of Alluring Perfection. +2 might, +2 constitution, -2 in now. No, thank you. Rufek's Watchful Cloak, Mach 2. +2 enemies needed to flank, +2 perception. Rufek was a bruiser and a follower of Whale. He was often hired as a courier or bodyguard because of his size and strength, yet he was a quiet man, and he developed the habit of walking with his head bowed in prayer. Because of this, would-be thieves frequently attempted to waylay him. But Rufek was blessed by the god of secrets. With uncanny foresight, he dodged and parried these sudden attacks and slew his assailants, sewing their eyes into his cloak. Damn, that's metal. He intended it as a warning, but others saw it as a challenge. Eventually, he discarded his cloak and wore a simpler, subtler garment in its place. The sight of a dark cloak with shimmering, shifting eyes became infamous among highwaymen and bandits. I don't think I have anybody that's not... Okay. I thought maybe that would let me see my entire party. Ring of Deflection, +9 deflection. +5 accuracy when below 50 endurance. +20 defense against disease, poison. +5 accuracy when below 50 endurance. Let's buy it. Find Wangra at Durgan's Battery. I'll give this to Manny Ha for the hell of it.
Hey.
Money's no object. Alright. Renegil never said negotiating trade agreements was part of the job. Run for mayor, they said. It's an easy job, they said. I should have stayed in the mines. He noticed you approach and his eyes widen. Liquid, what brings you back to Stalwart? You're always welcome here. He beams at you. What was that about a negotiation? There's a group of merchants from Defiance Bay invested in a trade agreement with Stalwart. The representative, Nesta, is staying at the Gref's Rest. I've been avoiding her because I have zero experience with treaties and contracts and all that. I was a miner, not a diplomat. Maybe you could talk to her on my behalf. I'm a barbarian, not a diplomat. He looks at you hopefully. As mayor, I'll give you full authority to negotiate on Stalwart's behalf. What makes you think I'll do any better than you in a negotiation? That's a good question. You're the hero of Stalwart, the man who reclaimed the White Forge. Of course you'd do better than me. Oh boy. Alright. That never leads to problems, you know, taking somebody who's good at one profession and just assuming they can do everything else because of it. I'll go talk to Nesta then. Thank you. As I said earlier, you can find her in the Gref's Rest. Pretty busy, so unless there's something else... Listen, you asked me to do something for you. You're going to sit your ass down here and answer some questions. How's Stalwart doing these days? We've rebuilt. Western Palisade is fixed, and some fancy merchant set up shop where Katie's house used to be. Gestures at the temple. We've also got a proper temple to Abaddon again. Never understood why the Andronites stuck around Stalwart in the first place. Well, did you find the bodies I left in there? Because it turned out they were kind of scamming everybody. I swear there's something strange going on in the mines. There often is. I don't know if I've ever played a game where there wasn't something strange going on in the mines. If you're looking for work, Ismay might have something for you. Could I go in the mines before? In White March 1? Because I never did. People keep talking about hearing voices in the tunnels. Same superstitions we had about the battery. Good work at the battery. Guess we owe you our livelihoods. Been having some tough times in the mines. We'll come back to the mines. I don't want to go in there and get swept up in a quest already before I find out if somebody has something specific they want me to do there. Let's go this way. Only a matter of time before the locals start blaming us for the cold. If you're looking for Mila, tell Royce I haven't seen her. Someone needs to keep a better eye on that girl. Well met. Ista.
This is going to be fantastic. Just wait till they hear about this back home.
It's been like 2 months, apparently, since I gave you that thing, and you're still just standing there holding on to it, and you're like, just wait till I take this home. I'm just going to stand out here on the docks and gawk at it for 2 months. Hey, this looks different. You guys aren't going to make me kill you, are you?
Oh, come on! Stupid sword!
Nah, voice like that, I'm not going to have to kill her. Can't talk. Ingram wants us to focus. I don't think Masco will ever be a good smith. That's not very nice. It's not very encouraging to her. Ingram nods at you and smiles in recognition. Ah, the kindler of the White Forge. We owe you a great debt for the industry and faith you've restored here. Welcome to the Temple of Abaddon. What do you do here? Besides priest. I lead this temple and guide the acolytes in matters both spiritual and mundane. He indicates the forge and anvils. Worshippers of other gods pray or meditate. We Abaddons venerate our god through the act of smithing. Our doors are always open and our forge always alight. How may I help you? This used to be a temple to Andra. I'm sure you knew that already, but I just thought I'd tell you. He tilts his head to one side. Back when this was a dying, forgotten place. But the clerics who tended it left, as is customary of their goddess. The throngs who have since come to Stalwart sought a more practical deity. Did their corpses just get up and walk away? Because I'm pretty sure I just left them dead in here. Really need to do something about my chair being really squeaky. Alright, let's keep looking at the docks here. Things were better under Renegild. Things were horrible last I checked under Renegild. Take that fish. The moon's been dark all week. It's a sign, I tell you. Been to Hammond's Emporium yet? It's where Katie's house used to be. Those Reserans are even worse than the ogres. I've heard there's been a murder in the mines. A murder? This feels so weird not having Itamok with me. I've only got 6 circles to deal with, not 7. It's throwing me off quite a bit. Oh, this is a fishery where I got that guy arrested, or he left town, or whatever. Been to Hammond's Emporium yet? It's where Katie's house used to be. I have a question for all of you that may be watching this video at some point in the future, but have you been to Hammond's Emporium? It's where Katie's house used to be. Maska's gonna lose her place at the temple if she can't control her temper and her forge hammer. Sip tells me I'm gonna be helping out.
Lazies. What am I to do with all of these?
The 2 barrels that are laying on the ground? A well-built dwarven woman stands before you, one hand on her head and the other holding a few sheets of paper. 3 complaints of blights in Whitestone Hollow. And who are these people? Mogren's faithful? Great, another pack of religious zealots. Aw man, it's a shame Durance isn't here for this. It's like they're popping up out of the snow these days. She glances up at you. Oh, sorry Liquid, just a little preoccupied. Things may have quieted down some with the ogres lately, but there's been no shortage of new trouble. Or work for those interested, just saying. You mentioned blights. The Terror of Whitestone Hollow. It's a grand blight that turned up after the avalanche. Real disaster, that. Great big heap of snow right on top of one of our main trade routes. I can't start fixing the roads until we get the blights out of there. Can't exactly ask you to bring back this thing's head, but word is the Terror's last victim was a caravan master. You want me to bring you his head? Turns out the fellow always wore a certain brooch. Figure it's somewhere in that monstrosity's belly. Bring me the brooch and I'll take it as proof you handled the blight. Sound fair? Who are Mogren's faithful? Bandits and horse thieves, as far as I could tell, led by a woman named Rodwith. Problem is their little group keeps growing. They've started tearing through some of the smaller villages. They were last spotted by Searing Falls. Rumor is they're headed in our direction. This tower's just getting its bearings. We can't afford this kind of trouble. Bring me Rodwith's head, and I'll see you a little richer for it. I might be actually dropping Alof for Durance. Because I'm sure Durance has some things to say about dealing with a group called Mogren's Faithful. That's a bunch of thieves and robbers. Hunting party got stuck in a blizzard last week. Andra's mad about her temple. You seen Kern? He looked upset. Well, I might as well start checking out some of these buildings. This was where the elderly dwarf lady was at. Malaf, I walk in, she just immediately attacks me. How's it going?
Haven't felt this fresh in decades. Need to ask what Hafrek's been putting in the ale.
Apparently nothing new with you. Told you the White Forge was in there, now you owe me. Shh, look, that's the man who found it. Pleasure to see you. I hear some of these newcomers are Iron Flail spies. If you're looking for Mila, it's something or other. Well met. Some here think Durian sent those delegates to die. Nonsense. Hey, Tealdor. Afraid I don't have any more bounties. Oh boy, it's you, Rayfeld.
You really did it! I mean, people have always come through here, talking about opening the battery, claiming the White Forge, all that. But I didn't think anyone would ever really manage it. I told Tana I'd be willing to help out with digging out the mines again. You know, do my part. Figure we can turn this place around, now that you've laid the foundation.
Well, that's very kind of you. Alright, let's check the mayor out, I guess. Who apparently isn't Renegild anymore. I don't know if she's here or not. Yeah, she's here still. Where's your son at? If it isn't the hero of the White Forge, Renegild nods in greeting. She looks more relaxed than you've ever seen her. You come and check on your handiwork, or are you just here to wish me a happy retirement? Why'd you retire? She stretches. I've had enough of politics and town quarrels for this lifetime. So when Tarfos told me he was tired of the mines, I asked if he was ready to really get his hands dirty. She smiles, almost feels sorry for the guy. Bye. We'll go back out. I wait a minute. Let's go check the inn out. Have a pint, maybe. Things were better on the Renegade. Villager barely injured. We finally get good roads and something to eat besides fish. Why are you barely injured? What happened? Is this a dangerous bar now?
Thanks again. I'll be gone just as soon as the weather clears.
Better be. I'm tired of seeing you. Hardly anyone coming up the roads these days. You're the first new face in weeks. Never had much of a knack for knife throwing myself. Hey, you're back. Thought you were done with this place. We certainly thought we were. Turns out New Heomar is a bit of a piss heap. Well, that and Stour turned out to not be so bad after a while. You know, army scuffling over the battery aside. Still playing games? You get to enjoying the simple things up here. Not that the practice has done them any good. I'll be going. Suit yourself. Keely, I heard they took your house over.
Heard the big news. There really isn't anything you can't do, is there? This will do so much for Stalwart. You can see it in everyone's faces. We've got hope again. Hello, sir. Anything I can do for you?
Nope. Hayfrick's been beside himself talking about the White Forge. You've done a great thing. Bet if I stole something from that barrel, you wouldn't think I've done a great thing, would you? Here's two hicks surviving another day in this frozen pit. I thought I ordered ale. She might have brought me to dishwater by accident. She sighs, or maybe on purpose. You can never tell. Oh boy, what brings you to Stour? I represent a group of investors from Defiance Bay who are attempting to establish a trade agreement with Stour. Before they're willing to commit to any agreement, they want to have the town assessed to make sure it's as proper as people are claiming. That's where I come in. She takes a long sip from her mug. What's your assessment of the town? Certainly a lot of coin changing hands. Whether this is simply a short-lived boom or something that will persist long-term remains to be seen. Tarfos sent me, a barbarian. I'm here to negotiate the trade treaty on Stour's behalf. Finally, I was beginning to wonder if Tarford had forgotten about me entirely. My first stop is Stour's fishery. My clients are concerned as liability is Stour's prosperity. I'll meet you outside his front door. There's like one person working in the fishery right now, so it might actually be a liability. Finally get good roads and something to eat besides fish. So you really found the White Forge, huh? He shakes his head in wonder. Hardly believed it at first, but I've never seen Renegil so giddy about anything. He cracks a crooked grin.
Here, drinks on me. We should see a boost in business with the battery open. Makes for a brighter future than we had yesterday, for sure.
Farewell.
Back to warm your hands, eh? What can I do?
Farewell.
Please, someone has to do something. Piss off, Kern. I got enough problems.
Decades I've lived here. We've worked and drunk together, and not a one of them will lift a finger. Store's face is damp and blotchy. His outburst seems to take something out of him. He sags, his lined features showing his exhaustion. Sorry, I've no heart for conversation. I'm sure someone in here will drink to your health. What happened? I've done something terrible and I'm not sure I can fix things. This neighbor of mine, Hattie, we've never gotten on at the best of times. With this land dispute losing half my property, things have gotten out of hand. Tell me about this feud. It's gotten ugly more than once. I'm not proud of it. My family's owned land here for generations. Hattie's father settled land nearby some years back. Whoever drew up the deed, they sold land that wasn't theirs to sell. Things up here aren't like in Defiance Bay. There's no Duke, no Hall of Records. It's been a fight since, in any case. It seemed important yesterday, but I'm not so sure anymore. Go on. I was drowning my sorrows here in the inn. There was a stranger, Sylvestin, obviously from out of town. We got to talking. He's all smiles, says he's a paladin, that he'll sort Hattie out for me, get my land back if I give him the week's wages. A paladin wouldn't do that, come on. Have you never played Dungeons & Dragons? I didn't know he was a bleakwalker, a madman. I was half drunk, thought Sylvestin meant he'd speak on my behalf, put a scare in Hattie, not kill him. So you got lucky. And that's why I kept Devil of Karak around for this. I tried to call him off once I realized. He laughed, said that doesn't happen. Please, you've got to help me. Nobody here's willing to take him on, even for the coin I'm offering. So, this is just like a random dude you talk to, and if you suggest you want somebody to die, he's just like, well, okay, and decides to go do it. Is that what a Bleakwalker is? I have some questions before I commit to anything. I'll tell you anything if it'll help. What do you want to know? What is a Bleakwalker exactly? I asked around. As far as I understand, our order thinks brutality is the best way to ensure peace. They don't negotiate and they don't give quarter. Once they've been ordered to clear someplace out, they don't stop until they're done. They don't change their minds. They just have to turn up half the time. They get paid to stand there and be a threat. I don't understand why Sylvestin's doing this. Seems like a petty wait. Did Sylvestin not tell you he was a Bleakwalker? Not at first, not until it was too late, I guess. I'd had a few drinks, but I think I'd remember if he'd announced it. Where's Sylvestin then? He must be heading out to Hattie's by now. He's stuck around here for a few days after we talked. To gloat, I think, or to wait for somebody, but he left. Seems like a petty contract for a paladin. Never knew there was a contract. How can that be right? That's all the questions I had. What do you want me to do? Stop that maniac and Hattie. Make sure he's safe, his family too. I'll make sure Hattie and his family are safe. Thank you, you're a good man, Liquid. Yes, I am. Hattie lives out in the east in Whitestone Hollow. Please hurry. Alright, so new quest. Ever thought of settling down here? I have a castle, dude. Come on. Good thing Hayfrick still has some venison in stock. Hardly any elk left. I didn't kill any. I swear. I didn't kill any when I was going around doing quests or anything. Nobody home. Hardly anyone coming up the roads these days. You're the first new face in weeks. We need cool heads like yours. Those ogres threw everyone into a panic.
Something I can do for you? Halfrick's got me straightening the rooms, but I'll help you if I can.
Bye. Man, dude, it wasn't that funny. Oops. I had that problem yesterday. I kept shutting doors instead of going through them. All the undead in Durga's battery were probably like, what's this idiot doing? He keeps opening and shutting the doors over and over again. One for me. Guess my luck couldn't hold out forever. Used to play upstairs, but Tina League accidentally knocked someone in a fire pit. I remember that from before. Well, well, can't go around calling you Ogre Slayer anymore, can I? Forge Master, maybe? He grins. What can I do for you? Did I not read his soul before? When I was trying to figure out who the dwarf was? Let's do that. For a moment, your senses are overwhelmed. There are fumbling hands at your belt and your own low laughter in your ears. Your shoulders jammed up against the cabinet and it rattles every time Brightwind leans down to kiss you. There's a sedate pleasure to the memory, but nothing in it has much to do with the battery. Alright, yeah. Alright, so nothing really going on there. Hot Springs.
I heard tell you fought in the Saints' War. Which side was that?
It didn't matter much in the end. Both sides lost.
Just as well. Got no love for either.
Suppose I don't either these days.
So, your squad ever come through Coldmore?
Uh-uh. Never made it up that way.
Then we're still good.
She's real passionate about that Coldmore. Alright, let's check out the Emporium. And then we'll come around and go check out Thirst to see what's going on with him. And then that's it. Other than we need to check the mines out. Hammond's Emporium. You know, this used to be Katie's house, everybody. Tarfos isn't a bad mayor, but I liked having Run a Guild in charge.
Would I interest you in a new blade?
I don't know, could you? Mask is gonna lose her place. Heard that already. Tell me something new. I miss home. Haven't eaten anything but fish in weeks. Ever thought of settling down here? Tell me something new. You can see your own reflection in these shields. This looks like Stoward from the road to Deerford. Shopkeeper's clothes seem a little nicer, if not terribly warm, compared to what you've seen around Stoward. His hair is immaculately coiffed, and his rosy cheeks look like they've barely been touched by the mountain winds. Welcome, welcome. I've got arms and armor, all top quality. Or perhaps you'd like to see potions. I actually would like to see some good-ass armor, weapons, and magical equipment, since I've got all this money burning a hole in my pocket. Always a pleasure to meet respectable company out here anyway. Alright, what we got? Twin Sting. Whoa, you sell soulbound stuff. Twin Sting is a crossbow with an unusual design. It is built to fire 2 bolts before requiring a reload. Few are the practical uses of such a weapon that would be worth the trade-off of the extra weight. This item, however, was built to fulfill a very particular need. 23 to 34 pierce damage. Inflicts 4 raw damage, 4.7 raw damage over 4 seconds. I'm gonna buy that because that actually would be good for Grieving Mother, because I got her using crossbows right now. And since she's gonna be sticking around fairly soon, we'll give that to her. A bunch of fine exceptional gear. I'm actually gonna sell a bunch of my fine gear pretty soon because I don't have a use for it anymore. It's just taking up space. The colored coat. Unique heavy armor, 14 damage resistance, 50 recovery speed, exceptional, so 18. Minus 10 armor speed penalty. Grants Wicked Briars when endurance drops below 51% once per encounter. Foe AoE, hobbled, and accuracy. Hold up here. What I say that was 18. 16. Recovery speed minus 40, but that other one takes 10% off, so that one's minus 42. I could give that to Zahua. You're good at 20. Zahua is going to be a heavy armor. Zahua is actually set up based on a build I saw online called a Juggernaut build. I have no idea how it actually works. I just kind of set him up with the talents and stuff and such, like I said, because that's how I do things. Exceptional plate. Look at Briars. Once per encounter. Or I could just buy him exceptional plate mail, which would give him 20. And let's see what else is down here before I get too happy. Only usable by priest. That should be something I might want to pick up for Durance. Stag Helm, I have some of those. Rings of the Salonen. Have one of those for Aloth. I don't think he needs another. Argues's Adra Helm. +3 resolve. Wait a minute. +3 resolve. That is the key to passing that check with the Alpine Dragon. We need that. Belt of Bountiful Healing. +25% healing received. He carries many scars helm. +2 athletics, +50 when defense when stunned, or +50 defense while prone. Torque of Defiance, usable by Ranger, Sagani. +25 defense against Charmed. Nah. Boots of Evasion. I think I already have some of those sitting around in my stash. Sanguine Plates Helm. -50 stun duration, -50 knockdown duration. Acorn Helm. +5 fortitude accuracy. Bunch of scrolls, bunch of traps, bunch of drugs, bunch of food, bunch of crafting equipment. Buy more decks, why not? Let me buy another exceptional plate. Give that to, wait a minute. No, never mind. I'm going to buy him the color coat because I don't want his speed to go that low. Alright. This is going to go in a stash for now. That's for Grieving Mother. Seal of Faith, that's for Durance. That's going to go in a stash for now. Is there anybody here who doesn't have a helm? Okay, this is going to go into storage for now. I need that for later. That's storage, has storage. You can put this on. And the stash. Alright. I'm happy with my purchases.
Hey.
I'll give this place a very good review. I'll start off my review with Ham's Emporium.
Scenic marches and
Used to be Katie's
campfire
house.
feasts. Like the good old days on the Valian front. You got any memories like that, Adair?
Well, let's see. Sometimes we'd march 2-3 days without sleep. Start seeing things that weren't there.
Nice thing about mercenary work is you can always quit.
Alright, there shouldn't be anything down that way. Let's go check out Thrisk.
Uh-huh.
You shouldn't have Reckless Assault on. I wonder if your AI is making you do that.
Hey,